So I'm going to go on a rant here and do a little thought experiment at the same time. Basically, I want to state the point that basically everything we do is for our own best interest, and why selfishness really isn't such a negative quality. Everything we do, from getting the better job, to the better car, to the better boyfriend or girlfriend, is all done for selfish reasons. Even charitable things we do to make ourselves feel good, to be able to tell ourselves that we're good people. Society often tries to press upon us the need to be selfless and think about the community and the people around us. Now, oftentimes this could be attributed to it being for the benefit of those who run society, that everything goes smoothly and people have some kind of community-mindedness about them. And it can also be for your own benefit, as if everybody works together well, you have less to worry about and more general safety. These are some of the reasons why selfishness isn't a bad thing in all circumstances. But let's go a little bit more in depth. Let's look at mating. Everybody wants to have the perfect boyfriend or girlfriend, always looking for the best they can possibly get. For men, you can break this down into three things that they want. They want youth, beauty, and fertility. Sometimes you can throw personality on as more of an icing to the cake, but in most cases you'll find the first three will be what most men settle for. Women, on the other hand, generally try to go for wealth, status, and good genes. Either they're tall, they're good looking, things that could prove a benefit. These are usually because women used to be very vulnerable during the pregnancy stage, and to a certain degree still are. And so it is in their best interest to find somebody who can provide well, is well liked in the community, and obviously has good genes to pass on to the offspring. In fact, the youth, beauty, and fertility that men are looking for also ensures that they're going to have the strongest possible offspring. This is one of the things that eventually led to things like arranged marriages. As an old Appalachian saying used to go, "Thank God for the young and the dumb, or none of us would be here." Well, ancient societies knew very well just how, for lack of a better term, promiscuous teenagers can be. And so in order to curb these and give young men more to work for, they would arrange marriages. This would also allow them to gain status and influence with their community by arranging a particularly good marriage. This is also a good way to bring peace among families, as families don't wish to fight each other, as they used to work mostly for their mutual benefit. But even if you look in modern societies, people will often judge you by the type of person you date. If you've ever brought somebody around your friends who they thought were subpar, I'm quite certain you probably heard about it. And if you weren't outright mocked for it, then more power to you. Often you'll have people compelling their friends to date certain other people, and this is usually women trying to get their friends married off for dating people in your friends group. This gives them a bit more clout in the group. But it can also be used to create a strong support network. This also leads into values. We like others to share our values because that makes us feel safe. This will lead to others enforcing our values, which makes us feel strong. As a group, we can make others do as we see as right. And we don't really want others to question our values, as we aren't really comfortable with the idea that what we think and what we do could be wrong. As a society, or as a social creature, I should say, we value validation. It makes us feel good and like we belong. A lot of people really fear being ostracized, which is why you don't usually see too many people going too far off the beaten path of what's considered normal. People will often follow results in order to try to replicate them for their own success. I mean, what better way to become successful than to follow the example set by somebody who has already succeeded? This is one of the main reasons over the past 2 generations that we've had parents pushing so hard for their kids to get into college. It was, and in many cases still is, a very good way to get your children to be successful. Now it's a bit more picky as to what degree they choose. Usually anything outside of STEM is not going to result in tremendous success. But oftentimes it can still be good to get a college degree. You just need to be cautious as to what you get. Now, there are many things that would seem to not be in our best interests that we will often pursue, things like charity. Now, these are things we will do because they make us feel good, or they make us feel superior, or they make us feel like we're helping others, which makes us feel good. The only reason charity even exists is because people see a need and they don't like looking at things that are worse off than them, or people who are worse off than them. It makes them feel bad. It makes them think, this could be me one day, and so it makes them feel good to correct the situation. Social conventions aren't too far off. This kind of goes back to the when others share our values. People like to be in the familiar. It makes us feel good. It reinforces us. It's kind of one of the reasons why society works. If we share a set of values, if we share a set of traditions, it makes us feel closer as a people. It makes us feel that wherever we go, we can be home. Now, there are others who also feel good by coming to their own conclusions, by questioning the things around them. And it does give you a nice little high when you think of things that can be done better, things that don't quite make sense, or when you can find things that honestly don't make sense. They may have made sense at one time, but at the moment you're analyzing them, they don't, or by your current standards of what is rational, they don't. This leads me to my main point, that basically everything we do is selfish, even the things that would normally be considered not selfish. Basically, we are all on a quest to make ourselves feel good. Even when we do things to advance society, we're doing it to improve society, and therefore ourselves, which would make us feel good. When we defend our society, our homes, our families, our children, this makes us feel like what we've done will last. A legacy can be an important thing. A legacy can make one feel good, that they've left an impact long after they're gone. None of these things are bad things. None of these things are to be scoffed at. And all of these things, if looked at from the right angle, are inherently selfish things, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. This is not an important thing for anyone to recognize. It's not even important that you understand that most of what you do could be considered selfish. This is just an exercise in awareness, just a thought experiment.